Well, hey guys, it's been a long break, but hope you had a great holiday. Happy New Year. Ebteen didn't. Periodically throughout the show, you're going to notice that Ebteen is drinking a brown liquid. It is not chocolate milk. It is coffee, so he's a degenerate. Welcome to Objectively Wrong, presented by The Next Man Up. As always, I'm John, that's Ebteen, and we're back. The playoffs are upon us, and so much shit has happened. Like, a weird amount of stuff has happened.
We've been gone for a long time.
We've been gone for close to a month.
Yeah.
Close to a month. Not quite.
It's felt like a year.
If you guys have not listened to the last episode yet, first of all, what are you doing? And second of all, while you're listening to the next episode, you'll ask us, what are you guys doing? Give it a listen. We tried something new.
We had fun.
It's not your normal Objectively Wrong entertainment. Give that a look. Provide some feedback. If you know me or Ebteen, text one of us. Or don't. I might not text back. I'm bad at that.
Here's my Cash App.
Here's my Cash App. So we got a lot of news to talk about today, but the by far most important story in the NFL of the past 2 weeks has been Damar Hamlin. Now, I'm gonna start the clock also, by the way, because I forgot to do that.
Oh, this is gonna be a long episode.
No, I know it will, but I gotta we have to keep tabs on it anyway. So yeah, this is gonna be a long one. Strap in. We have a lot to go through. Our notes are extensive, and we're also gonna finish this with a playoff prediction. So yeah, I thank God I just moved the text box over because now I see the thing that you put in because I forgot to type that in. So Damar Hamlin. For those that don't know, I can't imagine you're listening to this podcast if you don't know what happened with Damar Hamlin. But for those that are unaware of what happened to Damar Hamlin is a safety for the we might skip that one. Damar Hamlin is a safety for the Buffalo Bills. And Damar Hamlin was playing in a game against the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football, national television. Everybody watching, whole country watching. And Damar Hamlin makes a relatively routine tackle on Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Gain of 4 or 5, whatever. T. Higgins goes down. Damar Hamlin goes down with it. Damar stands up, adjusts his helmet, and immediately falls on his back. Everybody immediately started wondering, oh, geez, was it a head thing? You know, this is the NFL. You're naturally going to think, oh, no, is it a really bad concussion? Is this Tua all over again? And when you started to watch the replay, which was everywhere on Twitter, it probably shouldn't have been, it didn't appear as if he took a major hit to the head. So you start to wonder, okay, something happened. And then they cut to commercial, as you generally do with an injury. And they come back from that commercial, and he's still down. And then they cut away again, and then they cut back. And then Joe Buck said probably the most harrowing thing I've ever heard on an NFL field or in an NFL telecast, that the training staff had been performing CPR on Damar Hamlin. And immediately, fans on Twitter, watching at home, myself, Ebteen and I got on the phone and immediately started like, oh, geez.
Yeah, I wasn't watching.
Yeah, you weren't watching at the time.
Yeah, you called me and I turned the game on.
And you turned it on, you were like, oh, shit. And all of a sudden, the collective football world was just at a standstill, at a complete loss. And after about half an hour, they finally get him in the ambulance and get him out the door. We later find out that Damar Hamlin was out. Ended up at a Cincinnati hospital in critical condition. His heart had essentially stopped. And CPR had been performed for, I think the number was, 9 minutes? Is that what they ended up saying? 9, 7, 8, I forget, something in that range. That's not a short amount of time to be doing CPR. Now, it is easy for us to think about this now a week ago and realize how miraculous the recovery of Damar Hamlin has been, because Damar Hamlin has already been transported back to Buffalo, and he is alive and has gone from critical to stable condition. Damar Hamlin was fully intubated. He was not breathing on his own at all at one point, and they were able to get him up after 2-3 days.
Well, I can't find it.
No. It has been a whirlwind that has so fortunately ended up with the best possible news regarding Damar Hamlin. And, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's a credit to the medical profession. It's a credit to that trainer. His name is escaping me.
Oh, that I can get for you.
Okay,
the trainer's name was Denny Kellington.
Denny Kellington. Okay, thank you. I thought it was Kenny, and I would have just flipped the names, flipped the initials. Denny Kellington, that was the one that performed the CPR and was assistant trainer for the Buffalo Bills. It could not have been. This could not have ended up. Probably couldn't have ended up better than what it has ended up as. Of course, you'd rather Damar Hamlin not get hurt at all, but that's where you are. And I can tell you, there were people I spoke to that I used to play high school and middle school football with, and hockey and lacrosse. Like, this is not the same thing for, high school ball is not college ball is not pro ball. That's insane. But the reality is, when you are part of a team in a football setting, it's just different. It's just a different atmosphere. And I was able to, I saw Damar Hamlin go down, and it physically affected me, as I'm sure it affected so many other people. I could not think about anything else for about 3 days. I could not bring myself to think about anything else. And I think credit needs to be given to every medical professional that had a hand in saving Damar's life. I think credit needs to be done to Scott Van Pelt, Susie Colbert, Adam Schefter, Booger McFarland, everybody that was on, Ryan Clark, everybody that was on ESPN. I'm sure I'm forgetting more people. Everyone that was on ESPN that night trying to recover, trying to be as informative as possible. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, all of them deserve kudos. All of them deserve recognition for what transpired and their reaction in the face of such a completely unexpected occurrence. You never think football's a dangerous, violent sport. It's difficult to play. It hurts to play. And for people that don't have the strongest stomach, it's probably difficult to watch. And I can't disagree with anyone on that. It is a gladiator battle. That said, you never expect something like this to happen on a football field. Now, I don't think, and team, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I don't think they've even stated yet a cause of what occurred to him.
I don't think it's been released.
Right.
You have plenty of Twitter doctors who, based off their own experiences.
Right.
Including some ER doctors.
Right.
I think it was comatose cordis, which is basically just a hit to the chest, stop the heart.
Right. And it happens. I think it was explained online. It happens it's basically like a 1 in however million chance of actually occurring. It's less. It's
a very unlucky hit.
Yeah. It's more likely to get struck by lightning or something than for that to have actually happened in the way that it happened. You have to get hit in a certain way at the exact certain time in a heart's pumping cycle. And that's unreal if that's what occurred. I don't know what the problem is. Perhaps he had an underlying health issue from that was undetected. I know back in the 80s, a player in the NFL actually did suffer a heart attack on the field and did not survive it. And they find out later that he had an issue with one of his arteries. It was 75% closed. His family had a history of heart issues, and it was undetected. Nobody knew it. So, it could be that we just don't know. That being said, as amazingly spectacular as it's been to watch Damar Hamlin improve, it's been almost as disappointing to see the reaction of certain people. I'm going to start with Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock has done nothing but tweet about how we should be questioning Damar Hamlin's vaccination status.
What?
First of all, go to hell.
I have
honestly firmly go fuck yourself. That I have nothing else to say to you. You are not a reliable person. You are a completely disvalued and disassociated pseudo journalist. You have gone down the rabbit hole of Clay Travis's nonsense, and that's fine. That's what you've chosen. I think he's part of Outkick. If you are an Outkick watcher or contributor or whatever, do not listen to the show. Don't care. All of it's a joke. You're not reporting. All you are is propaganda. That's number one. Number two, Skip Bayless. That's been addressed a million times. And I see that there is a couple of camps here. One going after Skip Bayless for just being a consistent ass. And then another camp trying to defend that Skip Bayless's tweet, quote unquote, wasn't that bad. Here's my take that nobody asked for. My take is, if you think it could be on the fence, shut up. Why not? Why not just be a decent person instead of running your mouth? Why not? You obviously pissed off your co-host. Obviously. I am shocked Shannon Sharpe still works there. A week later.
It's very much like it's an opinion of someone who doesn't work, who has been an NFL media person.
He has done nothing,
but like hasn't played.
He is not. He's disrespected Shannon Sharpe now twice in 2 weeks. The second time was when he basically said to Shannon Sharpe's face that Shannon Sharpe was jealous of Tom Brady because he didn't accomplish anything in the NFL close to Brady. Motherfucker was a gold jacket. What are you talking about? Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Fame football player. The hell are you?
Wait. Why are we comparing Tom Brady?
I don't know. Why are we comparing Tom Brady to a tight end? I don't know. I don't know why we're doing that. To one of the best tight ends to ever put on a helmet? I don't know. I don't know why we're doing that. I'm not sure why anyone's doing that. But somebody did. Skip Bayless, there was an article, I think it might have been Barstool. Again, I don't read their crap, but the Twitter algorithm just shows me headlines. And because they know I'm always in the NFL sphere of reading stuff. There was an article, I think it was Barstool. If I'm wrong or crediting it incorrectly, I apologize to whoever deserves the credit. But everybody knows when you see a headline, if you don't grab it then, you'll lose it forever. The headline, something was along the lines of, is this a bit by Skip Bayless? Is it scripted or is he actually that much of an ass? And I think the verdict was like he's both. And that's probably true. I don't know.
I mean, he's an ass, but he's doing this because it's his job.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't care. What I care about is when somebody says something and it's directly harmful to somebody else. Whether it's the subject of what you're saying or your listening audience. And if you're directly harming the populace by what you're saying, if you're harming somebody by what you're saying, you're a dick. You shouldn't. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I'm harming one person. People get in debates. People argue. People say crap about each other. But he's not even doing that. What he did was he basically, his tweet made it out to seem like it was of equal importance to address Damar's health and the NFL schedule. And God damn it, no, it isn't. It's not even. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Which we'll talk about the NFL schedule.
Well, the NFL's decided to cancel the game. The regular season is over and the Bills and Bengals have only played 16 games. And listen, we'll address this right now. The coin toss is probably not the right move by the NFL.
No, I think their decision making the entire time, the NFL's decision making was awful. Like we know for a fact now, the NFL didn't want to cancel the game.
Apparently, that's the reporting, is that the NFL was not going to actually stop the game.
Yeah, Joe Buck has gone on record. I mean, if Joe Buck's going on record, it happened.
The Bengals and Bills decided not to play football that night.
No, and like I don't think the NFL handled the situation well at all. I'm happy that because the fact is Damar Hamlin was in critical medical need.
Yep.
And the NFL rules had the right medical staff there to save his life.
I will give one pro on the NFL, and I agree with you that the NFL has botched a lot of the logistical handling of this. One thing that we know that is probably not in the worst shape, the NFL's emergency response protocols saved this guy's life. Straight up. That is what happened. So, okay. You got one thing right. Good. Can we get some more damn things right, though?
Yeah. Damar Hamlin's treatment, it wasn't a miracle that saved him. It was getting care at the exact time that he needed it.
You made a comment to me that I think was like dead on. And I've repeated it a few times to people. And you said, this may or may not be like logistically true, but the only place Damar Hamlin could have had something like that happen to him and be logistically safer was if he was actually at the hospital and had it happen to him.
Yeah.
Whereas this way, the NFL has a massive medical staff. These teams have massive medical staffs, very highly equipped, very highly trained, very highly qualified. It saved his life. It saved his life because when you have that many doctors around you in a dire situation, you're not waiting on response time. So the response time was boom, here comes the CPR, here comes the AFib, here comes the ambulance.
Well, something I didn't know. The NFL has like a hospital on standby before every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
You didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's hospitals are aware. It's generally the closest one. That's why sports stadiums are usually built very close to more esteemed hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
There is a logistical break in that. That's part of the reason why.
But anyways, the NFL didn't want to cancel the game. Then they did agree to cancel the game when they realized the players were just gonna not play. Could you imagine?
Right, I mean,
if they were like, the game's happening, guys, but this playing field is completely empty because everyone refuses to come.
Right. Like what's the situation? Like in what world would you be able to even have a damn game if the team just doesn't go on the field? If they don't go out there, you can't play. That's how football works. You need them on the field in order to play the game. Now they're not out there.
We can talk about their decision making on around rescheduling the game where they eventually canceled it.
Sure.
And we can point, I've told you multiple times what I would have done. I would have played their week 18 as normal, and then I would have done a game on Thursday. The following Thursday.
Which is 2 days from now.
Yeah. And then I would push the playoffs 1 week.
Yeah, Ebteen's plan would have pushed it probably would have canceled the Pro Bowl.
Who cares? No one watches the Pro Bowl anyway.
That's what I'm saying. It would have canceled the Pro Bowl, and it would have pushed the playoffs into the Pro Bowl slot.
Which is not that big of a deal.
It is and isn't. The NFL moved the Pro Bowl from after the Super Bowl to before the Super Bowl a number of years ago. I'm on record as saying the Pro Bowl should be dissolved. I mean, the Pro Bowl this year is not being played as the Pro Bowl, but there's no reason to have this.
I don't want the Pro Bowl to be dissolved because players get their contract bonuses because the game exists.
You can do bonuses a different way. You honestly could. You don't need to do bonuses that way.
Yeah.
You get your contract bonuses based on popularity. That's not the way. You can have escalators differently. Hell, if Kenny Golladay had caught 76 passes last week, he would have had it would have made another $1 million. By the way, he scored a touchdown against Philly. That was his first touchdown in 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, I had an argument with people that Kenny Golladay, they said I was calling Kenny Golladay trash. And they're like, you say everyone's trash. I'm like, no, man, the guy is objectively trash.
You do call everybody trash.
Yeah, but Kenny Golladay is objectively trash.
For what it's worth, I've been on the Kenny Golladay bandwagon for years. And as soon as you took him away from Matt Stafford, he wasn't good anymore.
I mean, when you're healthy and you're the wide receiver 4 or 5
7
of the New York Giants,
right,
who don't have a wide receiver,
there's a problem. Yeah. No, it's very good. I mean, obviously, I haven't heard anybody complain that Damar Hamlin survived. That's the one time I have seen, at least we've all come together in agreement that it's better that a person didn't die. Good.
Oh,
That's a step in the right direction.
I have a complaint. Robert Griffin, man, that jersey did not look good on you.
Well, yeah, you should wear it the right way. Don't wear it backwards.
Yeah.
I understand highlighting the name. Wear it the right way. We all knew who it was for.
You did not look good in that jersey, dude.
It's like when you give Peyton Manning a jersey in a pizza commercial. It's like, we know you're Peyton Manning. You don't need to wear that. But no, the Damar Hamlin outreach was incredible. The $8 million that hit his GoFundMe, that's incredible. And the last point I'm going to make on this is the last complaint I heard on Twitter, and then we'll move on to actual news. We'll move on to, league news. We'll get into the football. We're already 20 minutes in, so we're going to get into some football in a minute. But if you'll allow me to make one more point, Peyton Hillis, former running back fullback for the Cleveland Browns and later for the Chiefs, I believe. You guys listening may remember him as the cover athlete for Madden 12. And I know a lot of people made jokes and whatever about that back in the day.
Was he the start of the Madden curse?
No, he was not the start of the Madden curse at all.
Okay.
If you go back to the beginning of Madden, you will see the curse happen the whole way through, except for, I think, Mahomes. I think Mahomes broke it.
Well, I mean, he lost the Super Bowl that year, didn't he?
There's always a way to make somebody have a curse based off the Madden curse. Anyway,
I don't know that loss, that AFC Championship, kind of is.
Let me get to this point.
Yeah, sorry.
So this is no joking matter. Peyton Hillis is, as of a couple of days ago or a day ago, in critical condition for jumping into the ocean to try to save his children from drowning. He was successful. His children are okay. And based on all the reporting, it appears Peyton Hillis is also going to be okay, which is amazing fucking news. Guys, we do not need to compare tragedies. What the fuck? What is every bit of the world trying to be like, well, what about Peyton Hillis? Well, what about this? What about that? They're all important. It all matters. Doesn't matter. Like, people made the complaint. Well, they talk about Damar Hamlin so much because that fits their agenda. Complaining about the media. First of all, if anybody starts an argument with, the media anymore, I'm tuning it out. Fuck you. That means you have no basis for what you're saying. That means your entire function to have the argument is to disavow something that is established as literally a right in this country as the freedom of the media, freedom of the press, freedom of it. Like, they're writing for the news. If you fail to trust anything, that's your problem. Fine. Leave me out of it. I want nothing to do with it. Nobody is trying to lessen the impact and importance of Peyton Hillis's health versus Damar Hamlin's health. They are both human beings. They both deserve the best medical care they can possibly get, and they both deserve thoughts and prayers. They both deserve careful consideration. They both deserve everything they could possibly earn as a person. They deserve that rightness. They deserve that humility, that humanity. And when people decide to compare tragedy to tragedy, you are less humane for that. That is less humane. It doesn't fit their agenda. Well, there you go, making something completely pointless. You're making a point that has nothing to do with the tragedy. So now you're not even focused on the fact that it's about Peyton Hillis. You're now just mad about the coverage Damar Hamlin got. That's what you're saying. You're now mad about the coverage Hamlin got. Hey, guys, Peyton Hillis did not almost drown on television. Damar Hamlin almost died on television. We all saw it happen. We all saw it happen. That's why it was picked up like that, because it was seen live on television, playing the sport we all watched 50 times a week. That's why it got the publicity it got, because it was all seen at the same time. 25, 30 million people watched Damar Hamlin pass out all at the same time. If there were a video of Peyton Hillis going around of him potentially drowning, that would probably be big news. It'd be massive news. It's massive news without the video. It doesn't matter. But don't compare tragedies. Tragedy is tragedy. And fortunately, both stories appear to be headed toward good endings. Damar Hamlin is awake and appears to be fully mentally competent, and he's breathing on his own. He seems perfectly fine now. Not perfectly fine. He's improving.
Has he been discharged?
He's been moved to a Buffalo hospital.
Okay.
He was discharged from Cincinnati. He's being evaluated in Buffalo, but his condition has elevated to stable. I don't know if Peyton Hillis's condition has improved. He was listed in critical. But Peyton Hillis, I'm looking at it right now. The word about Peyton Hillis's kidneys. That's important. That's important. It is important to pay attention to the Peyton Hillis issue. I also just learned that he played for the Giants and Broncos for a brief period. I didn't know that. So that's where we are. And if you got a problem with the difference between the two, that's on you, and that's fine. You can continue to be angry about whatever you want to be angry about. I don't care. I don't think I'll speak for both of us. We don't care. You can be angry. Go ahead. Be angry. Be angry that two people with varying degrees of how everybody viewed them almost dying, you can continue to be angry about the media coverage of it. Yeah, that's the important thing. The fucking media coverage. Let's talk about that. You all sound like Skip Bayless. You're talking about a different problem that has as little to do with their health as possible. Their health is the important thing.
I just think social media has really made people depressed.
It's killing me, man. It's the worst thing. It really is. It really is. I blocked Elon Musk on Twitter. It's the first person I've ever blocked. I'm so glad I did it.
Oh, I've been blocking people right and left. Like
I just don't like blocking things.
My Twitter follower recommendations have been getting crazy these days.
Oh, the amount of times I've been recommended a video based on around Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. I want to jump out a window. Lauren fucking Boebert, really? That nutcase? Please.
That also happened, by the way, while we were gone.
Oh, yeah, the speaker. Yeah, Kevin McCarthy looked like the 2018 Browns. He lost 15 times or some shit. Whatever. He won finally, which is different than I could say for those Browns. I paid you for that bet all those years ago, right? I'm pretty sure I did. I gave you it was like $20.
Well, it was like I told you they were going to go 0-6.
Yeah, the whole bet was if team thought they were going to go 0-16. I thought they were going to win one game, and they got very close. But speaking with superstar Corey Coleman.
Speaking of which, you lost a bet this weekend.
What bet?
Patriots are under 500, aren't they?
Do they end 8-9?
Yeah.
Well, then I missed it by 1, which I will tell you right now, I'll take that loss because obviously it's a loss. But there's no way you thought I was even going to get that close. So
Steelers also didn't win the division.
Steelers, no, I was wrong on that straight up. Yeah, I was wrong on that one straight up. I thought the O-line was going to be more improved than it was. So anyway, let's get to more football news. All right. Well, Black Monday happened.
Woo! Wait, actually, no, boo. It didn't happen like I wanted it to.
Yeah, he wanted McDaniels gone, as does everybody. No, that didn't happen. So here's what did happen, though. So Nathaniel Hackett was fired well before this. He was fired during our break.
Yeah.
Duh. And then today, Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim were fired, or yesterday on Black Monday. Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim. Steve Keim was on medical leave, and now he's leaving. I don't think he was fired. Officially.
Let's be honest here, guys.
Steve Keim was fired. Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim fired. Cliff Kingsbury got a monster extension last year. I have to imagine there's a buyout. I don't really care. But what I do know is that here's what I know. Kyler Murray apparently has been given some sort of influence over who the next coach is going to be.
Why?
Wow.
What has he done to deserve that?
Nothing.
I will say, Cliff Kingsbury. He has the same agent as Kyler Murray. That agent's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he is.
That agent is a Hall of Famer.
Lovie Smith was fired by the Houston Texans because duh. But
also, good job, Lovie.
I got to be honest. I got to think of it as, so for those that don't know, the Houston Texans somehow got themselves out of the number 1 pick. All they had to do was lose on Sunday.
To be fair,
they didn't do it.
All the Colts safety had to do was knock the ball down instead of trying to go
right on 4th and 20.
4th and 20, yeah.
Davis Mills just hucks it to the end zone.
Goes right through the guy's hands.
Right through a Colts defender's hands. All he has to do is knock it down. Game's over. It goes through his hands. It's caught by Jordan Akins, I think.
Yeah.
And then they go for 2, down 1, just to be dicks. And they made it happen.
And Lovie Smith was laughing his ass off in his
Lovie Smith looked so damn proud of himself. My theory is that Lovie Smith was fired on Saturday.
Yeah.
And was told you're going to coach the game tomorrow, but that's it. And he said, okay, fine, and then decided to win it.
Did you see McNair after that 2-point conversion was successful?
Oh, Cal McNair looked like he wanted to kill someone.
Oh, yeah.
So, and apparently now Cal McNair is going to be more involved in the coaching selection process. Listen, it's going to probably be Josh McCown.
Actually, I don't think it will be.
Listen, here's what I also don't think it should be.
Yeah.
Nick Caserio should be fired.
Yeah, he should.
The Houston Texans should clean it all out again because it clearly didn't work. Because of course it clearly didn't work. Anybody with eyes knew what they were doing was never going to work.
I think the only thing Nick Caserio has done
is find Dameon Pierce.
No, I mean he got a lot for Deshaun Watson. He got a lot.
Listen, that's what I think Caserio has to show McNair to keep the job.
Yeah.
But I am not in any way confident if I am a Houston Texans fan right now. I'm actually terrified because that's not the best job to have right now. You have a 2. At least there's that. You have the second overall pick.
Well, you're going to have to give up a couple of those picks to get number 1 again.
Yeah, you're going to need to get cute.
We're going to see the Mitch Trubisky trade again.
I don't know if we're going to see the Mitch trade again, but it's not going to be the best situation for anybody. Like, nobody's going to be thrilled with what happens here. Like, no Houston Texans fans can be like, yay, this is good. We're happy about this outcome.
You know, if I was Chicago, I would ream Houston, right?
Yeah.
But get pick 2 and then trade pick 2 to the next one.
Maybe. There is a theory. Mike Tannenbaum said this, and I should not agree with Mike Tannenbaum because it's just bad because he's not a good GM. Mike Tannenbaum said on ESPN today the Bears should trade Justin Fields and draft Bryce Young anyway.
No.
I don't know, man. I don't think Justin Fields can play. Still, he can't throw. He refuses to do it. And when he does, it's like for 110.
Okay, but like, can we name one pass catcher that the Bears have?
Equinemius St. Brown.
Can we name one pass catcher the Bears?
Cole Kmet.
Can we name one pass catcher the Bears have?
Cole Kmet's
no, he's not. Name a quality.
If you gave listen, I have AJ Brown on my football team, so I'm obviously spoiled. But if I put AJ Brown on the Chicago Bears, I don't think he would do well. I'll be honest with you, I don't think he would do well.
Let's actually look at the Chicago.
He doesn't. So the O line is bad, right? The O line in Chicago is bad.
Mm-hmm.
The receiving core is bad. The running back is good, although he's a free agent. The defense is not that good.
And has gotten rid of all of its stars. Congratulations.
And has ditched most of the stars except for Eddie Jackson. That's it. Who's hurt?
No, this is one of the worst rosters in the league.
It's probably the worst. And
so what should you do? You should trade a number 1 pick for a ton of picks.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you can get the quarterback again another year or something.
Didn't Justin Fields beat the Patriots this year too, right?
I don't know. I don't care.
That's not easy. Like the kid has talent.
I don't argue that he has talent, but there's a lot of QBs that can run the hell around, and he's very good at it for now. That's also he's
like half the season he was hurt.
But you can't not throw the ball. You can't not throw the ball at all. Like you have to establish some level of balance, and they just don't do that.
And the coaching there is also bad.
I would be way more enthused about the Bears long term if they didn't have Matt Eberflus. That's true. Yeah. But they do. Who else was fired? So Lovey's gone.
What's the positive on the Bears right now?
Nothing. 0 things. They have the number 1 pick. Rightfully damn so. Washington fired their OC. Titans fired Todd Downing, their OC.
He was a dead man walking.
He was definitely a dead man walking. The Colts haven't made any decisions yet, either direction. The Steelers haven't fired anybody yet. And apparently Sean McVay has told his entire coaching staff that you are more than welcome to go look for other jobs, giving rise to the theory that potentially Sean McVay is also going to walk away because he, quote, doesn't want to be part of a rebuild.
Isn't it insane that we gave so much shit to Kevin O'Connell not really having anything besides like a coffee with Sean McVay?
Well, he coached on his staff.
Yeah, but like
Cliff Kingsbury had a coffee with Sean McVay.
Well, like Kevin O'Connell's in the playoffs.
We live in a world where the best part of that tree, and it wasn't even part of that tree, but the best like young gun coach in the NFL is like Nick Sirianni. Like, and that's not a world I thought I would ever live in. I'm very happy I do, but I didn't think I would.
Also, I'm ecstatic to say Mike McDaniel's still a Dolphin head coach.
Yeah. So there was a rumor that the Dolphins were maybe going to fire McDaniel if they didn't make the playoffs. I could not have thought of a more asinine thing to do other than playing Tua without medical clearance. By the way, still doesn't have it.
Yeah.
What else has happened? The Browns DC was fired. Dean Pease, the Falcons DC, retired. And yeah, that's all the coaching news we have right now. And Jim Harbaugh apparently bought a recruit a hamburger, and because of it, he's probably leaving Michigan.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, apparently that's part of it.
You just bought a recruit a hamburger?
Which is not allowed. He bought him lunch.
Okay, that's just stupid.
I agree. And he apparently bought him lunch and then lied to NCAA investigators about it or something. I didn't read it that deeply because I don't really care because
we got two people who are stupid there.
I watched Michigan play bad football 2 weeks ago. I watched them play bad football a week ago.
You want to know what? I want to get ahead of this. Alex Duggan is not a good quarterback.
Max Duggan.
Whatever.
There's an X in it. Other than that, you botched his name.
He's completely irrelevant.
We'll talk about that in a second because of that last little bit of notes I have there in caps. Derek Carr was benched and is likely done in Vegas. Where
was I for the rest of that day, by the way, John? You know this.
Buried in a bottle?
Yes, but where was I drinking that bottle?
You were watching tape, I know. I don't know.
I was in the shower drinking.
Were you in the shower? Yeah, Epstein gets very close to the players. Like he gets very into his players. And that's all well and good. I've loved my fair share of players. That was coffee. That wasn't anything but coffee. That is, there might be
some Kahlua in there.
Might as well be. It's it's all well and good to get into your players. It's totally great. They're people. You got to pay attention to them. They're great players. They're amazing athletes. We all admire them. Yada yada yada. Derek Carr is not going to be a Raider next year because Derek Carr and the Raiders are both not that good. Weirdly enough, I think Derek Carr is probably the best part of the Raiders, and that means a lot. Derek Carr isn't good enough to be the best part of a football team. So there's a siren going on outside in the most annoying way. Just somebody's like, whoop, whoop.
This is under the police.
Yeah, right? It is.
I think that's all I could actually say without getting copyright strike, right?
Yes. Just stop. What are you doing? There better be a major emergency. Somebody better have tried to steal from the yogurt land downstairs. Not a sponsor. That's the crux of my criminal emergencies. If you're stealing from the yogurt land, you're a bad guy. Thanks, whatever. Yogurt land.
This isn't low fat.
Yogurt land. That's where I draw the line. Yogurt land. Still not a sponsor. I've said their name way too many times. Not a sponsor at all. I can barely eat it now because of my stomach condition. Although honestly, I've been taking Metamucil. I would love Metamucil to be a sponsor of this episode because it's helped me greatly. So, dude, it helps.
Dude, I want to do a sponsorship with the Mucinex cartoon.
You want to do that? The booger guy that's just angry. I don't want to do anything involving that thing. That's my least favorite mascot in the world.
Really?
I hate that thing. Actually, no. There's worse mascots, right? There's corporate mascots. I don't think the duck for Aflac is that funny. I just find it annoying.
No, it's a goose, isn't it? Isn't it a goose?
I don't know. No, it's a duck.
Is it?
I think it's a duck. You looking this up?
Yeah.
Why? You ever notice
people have this question? Is it a duck or a goose?
You ever notice Nick Saban is one of their spokespeople?
Is he?
Yeah. Nick Saban has done commercials with that duck goose.
It's a duck. Okay.
Untitled Goose Game sponsored by Aflac.
That would be dramatic.
I'd play that.
Deals
If the whole time he's just trying to give you insurance.
Goose versus duck. Health insurance versus goose.
Untitled Goose Game tournament fighter. Smash Bros puts in the goose honks around or some shit. I don't know, man. Anyway, last little bit of player news. No, still on the Raiders. Mark Davis apparently wants Tom Brady. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's get done with the other quick hitters. Roquan Smith today signed a 5-year, $100 million contract. Weird timing.
It's a pretty funny slap in the face, don't you think?
It is a slap right in the knee of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And
by the way, fully deserved. Have you seen?
Oh yeah, Roquan's playing out of his mind.
Have you seen the impact that they've made?
Massive.
Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, by the way, who was our favorite linebacker that year. And
that year,
yeah. Like the jump that defense has made with the inclusion of Roquan Smith, hell of a trade.
It's on record as being one of the better trade deadline deals in the NFL.
Baltimore probably doesn't make the playoffs if they didn't make that deal.
It's a big trade. It's a bigger trade than anybody wants to give it credit for. It's a fantastic trade. You know who made a bad trade? The Bears once, and then the Eagles kind of. Robert Quinn has not been worth a $4 at all.
And Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool is now the number 32 pick.
Yeah.
That's bad. I don't care how. By the way, you asked for pass catches on the Bears. Chase Claypool.
You realize how both of us forgot?
I actively forgot it. Yeah. Chase Claypool, ever since anyone started calling him Mapletron, it was like, okay, stop. And then he stopped.
It's just we have this thing, like as the whole of the NFL fan base we keep on trying to find the next Megatron.
Can we stop?
Not it.
Nobody is that.
Not it.
Nobody will eclipse Megatron.
Marvin Harrison's looking real good though.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, he's a machine. Is he in this draft? No, he's next year.
No.
Next year's draft is so much fun.
Oh yeah, but we say that about every single year. It's all about the here and now, John.
This year's draft is very good.
I don't know about that.
You say that every year, and you end up being wrong. Yeah. By the way, if you go back to our last year running back rankings, we were eerily right.
Yeah, we were.
Except for me on Dameon Pierce. Everything else was
and me on Tyler Algier.
Oh, I was so dead. When I saw Algier was a second leading rusher this year, for rookies, I was like, I believe it. It was definitely needed a situation, and the situation for the Falcons was we can't throw.
But it's so funny. Like all of our running back my guys had exceptional years.
Oh,
Kevin Walker, the one in Washington who played for Alabama.
Brian Robinson.
Yeah, Brian Robinson. Tyler Algier for you, Dameon Pierce for me. We know running backs.
We both knew Hassan Haskins was going to be nothing, and we were right. So I'm done with Michigan running backs.
Blake Corum is apparently super good, but he's not coming out this year.
But I don't care.
We've done zero tape. No, he got hurt. He's going to come back next year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we haven't started tape yet. We start that usually right after the combine.
I started tape on quarterbacks because I was drunk.
He did. Epteen started tape on the quarterbacks.
I have some opinions.
We'll give you a little sneak peek of that tonight, but not much. Because we have shows to do. And if you dump our content now, we have less shows.
Shit.
And on the topic of that, Aaron Rodgers apparently has now said goodbye to Green Bay.
The media Aaron Rodgers seems like he's retiring. And I know that the betting odds came out today and the Raiders are favored to get him in the offseason. That guy sounds like he's done with all that he was saying.
Epteen and I have very differing opinions of what to do with the Las Vegas Raiders. But although I am
no, my opinion is your opinion with one exception.
I understand that, but that's a major exception. But
you haven't done tape.
No, I haven't done the tape yet, but it is a major exception. And it is something the tape could change my mind on. But There's also other tape that I watch for this group for the two of us that I will tell you I'm sure will also play a role in my opinion. And if I can find you 2 O-linemen that I like good enough, I'm holding real fast on my opinion. And I think I can find 4 of them. But there's one that I have my eye on.
Is it Skorumpinski or whatever?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. Not yet. I haven't done any look at him. There's one I took a gander at. I watched 6 total minutes of tape. And after the first 30, I was like, huh. And then I saw the next 30. I'm like, well, shit, I might have a new favorite. Last year, my favorite was Tyler Linderbaum, if you remember correctly. Tyler Linderbaum led all of the NFL this year in pass protection win rate.
Mm-hmm.
He led the league, not rookies, league. It was either pass or run. It was one or the other. Creed Humphrey was the leading center in the other one. He beat Creed Humphrey in a thing. He beat Jason Kelce in a thing. He's a top 5 center already. I might know what I'm talking about with the fat guys. I also said if anybody was going to be better than Evan Neal and Icky, it was going to be Charles Cross. Charles Cross arguably played better than both of them.
Charles Cross is playing really well.
Charles Cross arguably played better than both of them this year.
Yeah, good thing I got Leatherwood instead of Charles Cross, huh?
Yeah. That was a different draft year.
There was Darisaw. Darisaw is also playing well.
Darisaw is playing better than either of us thought he was going to do, though.
Yeah.
I liked that he was he was a total gasser, but the problem was on some plays, I thought he took him off. He's still doing that, by the way. I'm noticing it. But his win rate is so high, and how he's winning is very impressive. So credit to him. He looks like he gained 10 pounds all in the arms, and that's what's working. It's fine. So anyway, yeah. So Rodgers seems to want out. I remember when David Bakhtiari was an elite offensive lineman. That was a fun January of 2018.
I mean, the guy has had injury upon injury.
He's done. Really. I've probably seen enough.
Yeah.
It's probably past due. The bill comes due. And then the last little bit of player analysis we're going to do today, and then we're going to jump into playoff predictions.
Oh, are we? Is it not too early?
Well, what, do you have more?
Oh, yeah. Nuke Hopkins is out of Arizona.
Yeah, Nuke Hopkins apparently going to get traded. They're working on a trade.
Mark Davis is a coward.
But I want to talk briefly. So we're going to talk. So let's do that. Let's do this. Hold on. Let's talk briefly about the college football championship that just was played.
Okay.
And then we will talk about. We're going to talk about the Raiders a little bit. Then we'll go to our playoff prediction. We're not too far with the clock so far. So the national championship game sucked. and that game was an indication that there should not be a 12-team playoff.
No. That game was an indication that there should be a 12-game playoff.
Why?
So TCU will get knocked out before it happens.
Stop it.
You're telling me right now that if there was a 12-game playoff and we let in Bama or I don't know, who else was good that didn't get let in this year? Like USC?
No one.
You're telling me TCU would have ran the table on if we had additionally better teams than them?
No, but what I am saying is that the game between Ohio State and Georgia was the best game.
Yeah. And it was the college football final.
But I also learned something else.
What?
It is impossible to properly formulate an even, well-seeded college football playoff because not all teams should be selected for the playoff based on their merits. Look at TCU's schedule. It's not impressive. Most of the teams they beat ended the season unranked. The best team they beat was like Kansas State, and they lost to them the second time. TCU did not belong there. Michigan chokes. It's just some shit Michigan does. So when they beat Michigan, it's not like I was like, oh man, they could win this. I woke up on Monday morning thinking, how many is Georgia going to win by? And I saw the betting line was Georgia minus 13. I'm like, well, that seems like too little. I was like, 20, 28. 58.
Actually, TCU scored exactly the amount of points I thought they would.
TCU scored 7 early.
Like I think I have,
and then not again.
Let me read this text.
In fact, they didn't get close again.
Like I have a friend. Like this was during class for me. Like I was in class watching this game. I have a friend texting me, "Hey, are you watching?" And I was like, "No, Duggan has a horrible accuracy. Georgia's defense is the best in the country. They won't score more than 7 points."
You're right. But I can tell you, I'm going to give you some brief analysis of the game because my eyes were glued to 88. I like Jalen Carter, as you are quite aware.
No, I was not impressed with him in the Ohio State game.
That's fine. That man is a menace. That man is different. That man double teamed the entire night and split gaps constantly. He didn't finish the sacks; he created the sacks. That's very Fletcher Coxian. I am very satisfied with what I saw last night with Jalen Carter's tape. Lord knows we're going to be watching that game 50 times over, like we did last year with Georgia and Bama.
Yeah, Georgia defense.
We're going to have to watch a lot of the Georgia defense again. I don't remember the name of number 10. That's a cheat code. I don't know if he's coming. Evidenced, but this should be evidence to tell you we haven't done nearly enough. We haven't done any college study yet. This is still early for when we usually do it. Jalen Carter's a free, but TCU consistently made mistake after mistake. They did nothing that impressed me last night. They were utterly pathetic. They couldn't run the ball, couldn't throw the ball, couldn't stop the run, couldn't stop the pass. Special teams looked out of whack. Coaching was a joke.
The clock was running. That's how bad it was.
The clock ran well.
Yeah.
The clock worked. That's it. That was a worthless football game and a disgrace to the sport. It should not have been played. That was blasphemy of the highest order, and TCU should contract their program.
I don't know about that.
I do. Sonny Dykes, when the 58th point was scored, was seen on camera just going, wow. Almost like he wasn't prepared. Hey, Sonny, you no shit. You weren't fucking prepared. You lost by 58. No team in the history of the college football championship has scored 58, and you lost by it. I cannot believe the egregious lack of preparation, lack of preparedness TCU took the field with last night. They looked like they were going to shit bricks the whole night. And they did. They looked terrified. They looked outmatched, outclassed, outcoached, outplayed, outmuscled, outsized, out everything. And who do we have to thank for that? A man named Kirby and a 25-year-old college senior.
How has Kirby not gotten any NFL offers?
I don't think he wants them.
I'm not saying how is he not an NFL head coach already, but I'm saying how has he not gotten any offers?
It's honestly probably because he hasn't coached a good quarterback yet. That's probably why.
Well, screw you, Stetson Bennett's cool.
No, I know. Let's talk about Stetson Bennett real quick. So
this is the most disrespectful year of football I have ever seen.
Stetson Bennett is. I'm just gonna read a resume and I'm gonna kind of like let it speak for itself before I inevitably yell about it. Because that's what we do on this show. I just yell at stuff. And sometimes you listen to it. Sometimes you don't. Find it. Where is it? Come to me. My own profile that I retweeted something from so that I could use it for this episode. See, right now, I'm like Sonny Dykes. I was unprepared for this. Stetson Bennett walked on at Georgia, transferred to junior college, transferred back to Georgia. played 32 games as a starter, won 29 of them. He won the Burlsworth Award this year. He broke Georgia's single-season passing record. He is a two-time back-to-back national champion, and he's the national championship game MVP both times. Once against Bama. Guys, somebody has to draft him. I don't give a shit that he's 25. And that's the antithesis of everything I preach. Don't draft rookies past the age of 24. You might have to give a shot late, not early. Don't burn a 1 on this guy. But
I'm saying a 6.
Yeah, no, I'm saying a day 3 pick. I'm not saying a 1. But the guy's not in a lot of people's top 25 at quarterback.
Oh, that's a joke.
I know. Somebody draft this guy. Why not? What do you have to lose? We're like a month away from him not getting invited to the combine. Like, that's how egregiously disrespected he is.
Listen, what are you looking for in 6th and 7th round picks?
Flyers.
Ideally, depth.
Yeah.
You know what's important to have? Depth at the most important position.
Stetson Bennett has something you just can't teach.
It's a backup quarterback.
Stetson Bennett has a trait that you can't teach. The guy got balls. He just has balls. The sheer refusal to be denied the starting job, the refusal to lose, the refusal to be talked down to, even though he is well under 5'11". Give him a shot. He may stink up the joint and you might be done in August. But what are you going to use a 7 on anyway? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, the Raiders have 3 7s.
Every team should do this. Every team should do this. The Patriots should do this shit. The Giants should do this. Philly should do it. Why not? He's not going to start day 1. I'd like him to.
No, you wouldn't.
Not in Philly. Not in Philly. But Tennessee, what's stopping you? Houston. Tampa.
There are bad backup quarterbacks in the league. There are
a lot of them. Gardner Minshew sucks.
Still has, Nathan Peterman played snaps this
Let me make something clear. If Nathan Peterman is a quarterback in the National Football League paid, Stetson Bennett can be too. So could I. And I'm 5'5". Stetson Bennett deserves a look. I'm just saying. He is the truth. He deserves attention. This is Brock Purdy 2.0. And with that, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the Raiders still? We've got time.
I don't.
You don't?
I've already I've been in this
Let's address the Raiders next week. Let's wait a week and address the point next week.
Sure. By then maybe they'll make a trade.
They won't make a trade, but they might make.
I don't know. I mean, San Francisco made that trade pretty early to Miami to get Trey Lance. Remember that trade was made.
Maybe you can't make the trade. But it was after the league year opened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can agree in principle, but they won't. Not this week. They won't. Especially not if it's Brady. If it's Brady, Brady's a free agent.
Yeah.
At the end of the year. Now we'll see. Let's do our quick playoff prediction. We did one off the cuff yesterday, just off mic. I'm probably going to make changes to my prediction, but let's see if we can do this in 6 minutes before the video cancels us.
I will bring it up. So, the first game. Well, I'm not sure what the first game is. We have the 5th seed Los Angeles Chargers playing the 4th seed Jacksonville Jaguars.
LA Chargers versus Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
Now, I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
Me too.
Rashawn Slater has been activated, but he's not going to play this coming playoff.
Not this week. Yeah. Not playing this week.
It's just something I have with the Chargers. I need to see them actually not crack under the pressure. The Chargers are a more talented football team. They have a better quarterback. They have a better defense. They have better wide receivers. They have better running back. Chargers are a better team.
They're worse coached.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's better coached. The defense is improving.
Also, something we should definitely take. Chargers can't defend against the run.
No, they can't. Foye Oluokun led the league in tackles again.
Yeah.
I've loved Foye Oluokun for a couple of years. I thought paying him $15 million a year in last year's free agency was way too much. I was wrong. Straight up, I was wrong. Foye's really good.
The Chargers don't have a run defense. They're going up against Travis Etienne.
It's not a great situation.
Now, the Baltimore Ravens are the 6th seed. They'll be playing the Cincinnati Bengals, the 3rd seed. With Lamar Jackson, without Lamar Jackson. I think this is a loss no matter what. I think the Bengals.
My gut says it's without Lamar. I'm also going Bengals. I think the Bengals, and that goes against our preseason shot take, but because we predicted that the Bengals would not win a playoff game, as we did with the Chargers. We're sticking with that one. The Bengals are a better team than we initially thought. The O-line, Lyle Collins is out, so they're kind of back to square one again. But it wasn't helping anyway, so who gives a shit?
The 7th seed Miami Dolphins will play the 2 seed Buffalo Bills.
Bills.
Yeah, that's not even close.
This isn't close.
Yeah.
The Dolphins might be starting Skylar Thompson. It's the Bills.
Yeah. In the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys, 5th seed, will play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are the 4th seed. I'm going Tampa at home to win this game. I think Dallas is going to crack.
Tightest game of the week. I am actually also picking Tampa. Dallas is the better team, no question. Both teams have lackluster coaching staffs. Dallas's OC, Kellen Moore, mistake after mistake, which is incredible considering the guy was like the favorite to be a head coaching prospect last year and the year before.
Dan Quinn probably will get a head coaching job.
This is like Joe Brady-esque, demise. Dak Prescott led the league, tied for the league lead in interceptions this year after missing 5 games.
No, Dak. It might be time to move on from Dak Prescott.
Dak looks not good.
Yeah. It's already time to move on from Elliott.
If I'm a Dak, it's been time for that for 2 years. If I were a Dallas fan, and I'm obviously not, and it's tough for me to sound impartial, I would not be confident about Dallas. That said, Dallas's defense, Micah Parsons is on his own, probably the best defensive player in the sport. I can't dispute that. Mike is a beast. So you can win games with just a defense. Denver won a Super Bowl off it. So did Seattle. You can do it. But the offense really feels unreliable right now. And honestly, that smells like a new Hopkins trade because they do need a second receiver.
The New York Giants are the 6th seed. They'll be taking on the Minnesota Vikings, who are the 3rd seed. I'm going Giants in this game.
I hope it's the Giants.
I think the Vikings are...
I see the path, too. I do see it.
I think the Vikings are complete posers.
Both teams better coached than we thought. Giants, we thought were going to be well coached.
But the Vikings' defense is atrocious, and I think the Giants will win that game.
I'm going to go Vikings. I'm going to be a little bit of a coward on that one. I'm going to pick the Vikings. Oh, did I say I'm picking? I said I'm picking Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 7th seed Seattle Seahawks will play against the San Francisco 49ers, who are the 2 seed.
Niners
are going to win that game.
Niners. The only thing Seattle beats them in my opinion, the only thing Seattle beats them in is coaching. I do think Carroll's a better coach than Shanahan. But the Niners as a team, they're so talented and it's working.
And DeMeco Ryans will have a head coaching job if he wants one.
One of my favorite linebackers in the last 2 decades. I'm more than happy to see him get a head coaching job.
Do you want to continue, or are we just going to do this week's?
Let's just do this week's.
Okay.
We'll do the rest of it next week. Wild card's tough. With that,
that's the show.
That's the show. We will talk to you guys next week. Enjoy Super Wild Card Weekend. Thoughts with DeMar Hamlin still, and with Peyton Hillis still, and Jason Whitlock, you're an asshole. All right, thanks. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.